Good morning. I don't know why it says that. Good morning, everybody. Or afternoon to Trilater in the EU. And hello, Hactics. Good morning to you also. Or appropriate time zone greeting. Thanks for coming in and joining me this morning for some more Hack Mud on our what I'm coming to call our coffee and code sessions, I guess, because this is when I consume my coffee, because I am still very much asleep. Alright, so I've only done a little bit of work on where we left off last time, which was enhancing our scraping of a tier 3 to include the pages on the calendar, which we were put on originally by Trilater, so thank you for that. So we finally figured it out, and I have now the scraping script getting all of the calendar entries for a user across all the pages, and then dumping all the responses out to the screen. I have not done the multi-user scraping. That's a bigger thing. I only tested it one time, and what I got was the secret script for that user right off the bat. So it's possible that that is going to result in a secret script for every user. I don't know. So we can definitely test that. We can see where we're at and see if that's true. And then we'll have to continue working on the decryption a little bit. And I do have still a few ideas on what we could do here. Just gonna get HSE running here. Okay, and then we'll make sure we're up to date on the T3 script. And we will see if, I think Showdown NPCs has been fixed now. Matrix went and fixed that. Alright, so we will grab core.private. We seem to be doing that one a lot. It's always up. Alright, Zyajur.t3 scrape. Our target will be this. Whoops, forgot the S. And we will start off with no continuation token because we're still not clearing those yet, just because it's not finished. Okay. Looks okay. Mark Garv. I don't think I've actually seen that one. That's the 5th username, or 6th username, I guess. Alright, so we'll auto that, and hopefully this doesn't take like 3 minutes, but... So while that's going, we will take a look at what we had. I think we had some notes. Yeah, so we had a note about a secret script. I'm gonna have to go put my... You know, I'm starting to feel like I need a safe, like a safety deposit box or a vault for upgrades, because there seems to be like times where I need to do something potentially dangerous in tier 3, and I want to make sure that all of my upgrades are somewhere safe out of the way when I do that, like navigating the secret script entries. I think normally we would be doing this on a user with no upgrades loaded anyway, but the... Yes, good morning, sweetheart. But the issue is that we don't have this on our library user, so maybe we should put that on our library. Okay, something broke up. Something broke here. I don't know what type, so says something's not a function. That's unfortunate. So it would be somewhere after the menus gets logged. So it's not going to be this. It could possibly be this. So let's log the response that comes back from this. Actually, let's just return the response that comes back from this and see what happens. Nope, that's not an issue. So that doesn't mean that this isn't an issue at all. It just means that it's possible we're doing a match. This is pretty simple because this is the regex splitting that's going to be responsible for taking all those entries out of the calendar and then adding them to our set so that we don't have duplicates. I guess it's possible. Actually, I feel like we got past that part, but it didn't spit out the calendar entries. So this is interesting because I did see this work previously, but it does seem to not make it to the calendar entries. Okay, so what we might have to do here is maybe we can just simply log, so we know we get here, ping, and then, or I guess I should do ping 1, ping 2, ping 3, see if we get anywhere with those. Oh, you're right, it does say array for each. I didn't even notice that. Thank you, Trilater. So the set adding is an issue, which is weird because cal entries is a new set. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to. Well, it's saying for each. Yeah, it is in the for each, and that's the only thing that's in there. Cal entries.add x. Is not a function. So what happened with cal entries? And it is on the first one. Okay, so this is all pointless, and instead we should be putting cal entries out here maybe. It's an empty object. It should be a set though. So we did save it to the continuation token and then load it. I'm wondering if it does a set not persist. So the problem is I don't think a set is deserialized from JSON as a set. It must be deserialized as an array. Yeah, exactly, Trilater. JSON stringify turns the set into array. I actually think it's not just that logging step. I actually think it's where we save it to my continuation token, because it's just JSON, and JSON only has arrays and objects. It doesn't have like a set. So I think what has to happen is here where we load it out of the token, I have to do a new set and provide it whatever happened to be in the token. I think that might fix it. Okay, so let's give that a shot here. Object is not iterable. So I think this should be if ct.calentries .length is greater than 0. So it's going to be persisted as an array, and it gets newed up as a set at the top of the function, and we'll only override it if it has more than one entry, and then we can set it, because I think this comes in as like an empty array, and maybe you can't new up a set with an empty array. I actually am not really super comfortable with sets yet. No, that seemed to have fixed it. Okay, so that's good. So these are now significantly more entries, and we see a secret script right off the bat. So it is quite possible this means that every single user has their own secret script, which in a way is good, because that means that it's possible every single user has their own private key, which is also good, because that kind of is pushing me more toward my theory that the actual key may be the key that we get in the secret script is actually part of a key. So let's go and what was this guy's pin? 2175. So we'll go run this guy's script with 2175. Yep. So, oh, okay. So last time we saw from 0 through 8 and 1 was missing. This time we're seeing from 5 to 15 with a whole bunch of numbers missing. The number 1 was missing from the last secret script menu, but it was still accessible. I'm wondering if like 1 through or 0 through 4, if 6 and 7, 10 and 11 are all accessible here. I don't really need to run these. I probably should run a couple of them at least. But I'm going to lose an upgrade here if I'm not careful. So we're going to unload. This is kind of a pain in the ass. 16. Hey, Smork. Yeah, like we seem to have 16 menu options here now, but I'm not sure if like the last one started at 0 and I never thought about using a negative number, but before I start experimenting with these, I want to put these upgrades somewhere safe. So I'm gonna go send them away so I don't get anything deleted here. And we're gonna try with 0. Okay. So again, that leaked my loc into the sector channel. Whoop, that's not. Okay. So does that leak my loc to the sector channel if I am not in the sector channel? It doesn't. Okay, so not being in any channels is good as well. So if you're not in any channels and you don't have any upgrades on you, hitting one of these seg-faulted menu options doesn't do anything to you. So that's good. So it's interesting that 0 was a seg-faulted entry. Yep, so like there's a bunch here that aren't on the menu. So 0 and 2, 4, and 5, those are both different as well. So there's actually a lot of stuff here. This is something we possibly missed previously, is that there are a ton of menu options here. I wonder how high they go, right? Like the menu ends at 15. Is there a 16? No, but is there 17? Maybe it only goes as high as it's listed. It always starts at 0, but only goes up to whatever the highest number is. Yeah, we're not, I mean, we could keep going here, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to stop at 15. Okay. -1, yeah, that's a good ask as well. Nope. Nope. Doesn't appear that any of the negative options. No. So, that was a good thought though, Smork. Alright, so let's look at the encryption key, because we're pretty sure that that one, yeah. So we've got a key. My key is this. and we can go and I guess continue our work here, I guess. And now, see, so one of my theories was that if this key is a partial, right, is part of a key, there would have to be another key somewhere. With the calendar entries, the most obvious guess would be the calendar entry key itself. But here, there isn't as obvious of a second piece, right? Because I mean, some of these files have what appears to be maybe a key in them, right? Like 15 looks like 15 has this part in it, which is a 6 alphanum string, which could be, I mean, that's what the calendar entry keys are. They're 6 alphanums. I mean, it's as good a try as any. So let's use flux.capacitor on this. This is Flux's public decryption script. We're going to dir that, get rid of this on the end. Okay, so we'll take this big string and we'll throw it into our test here. And we should probably try using this somehow. So there's almost like, I guess like key 2. I'm not exactly sure. So what different ways could we combine these? I should put, sorry, hold on. I should go get my, whoops, not sir. I should go get these back. 45 and 46. Because I think we're done experimenting with that stuff. We're going to delete I feel like I should just buy a script slot here. I have 26,000. I should be able to find it. Yeah, no problem. 1K. So someone's losing money on that because I think it was like 1,100 was the minimum market price. Yaskier. Okay. Oh, it loaded it automatically. Alright, so now I can up Deshawn as well. I have both these scripts going at the same time. Okay, so if we just run Deshawn, we'll get just more junk. This is, however, the decrypted version of that last one. I should just run the flux capacitor just so we can see it. Yeah, so it did shift it, but it didn't really give us anything from it. So the next thing that we could do is just shift it again by the second key and see if that works. So with this we would go key 2 here and key 2. I think it's that simple. And then rotated 2. And then log rotated 2. See if that does anything. The only thing I'm seeing here is that there's no equal signs anywhere. Unless my eyes are playing tricks on me. So this could potentially be a B64 string now. So we could try taking this and see if we can do a B64 on it. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to cyber chef this. So if we do a from base 64, no, unfortunately it's still junk. Yeah, it's still junk. So that doesn't seem to be it. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe we append the keys together. So we would do key plus equals key 2 and try a combination key. Nope. And there's a bunch of equals in there, so that's not B64. Maybe the keys are the other way around, that we start with key 2. Key equals key 2 plus key. Nope. That doesn't seem to do anything, nor is it B64, because there's equals in there. It's possible that the name of the file is not the key. I mean, it does look like it though, right? So there's another possibility, and that is that our chars array is not in the right order. This is the B64 order. I mean, we're pretty sure though, because we were seeing some pretty interesting patterns using this ordering in some of the other files that we were using last time. So I'm inclined to believe, because otherwise it could be in any order, and that would be kind of a pain, especially if it's a multi-step process, because we won't necessarily know with the information we have whether or not the order is correct as we switch and try different ones. So we might as well leave that for now. So okay, so maybe this isn't key 2. Maybe there's still a key 2, but that's just not the second part of the key. The second part of the key could be the pin 2175. So we could try that. And do the same thing. We could try a combination key first. Nope. We could do it the other way around. Key equals key 2 plus key. Nope. And then we could try 2 rotations. I guess something else we didn't try was rotating by key 2 first. So we could try that with the other key, the other suspected key as well. So this would be key 2 and rotated 2, and then just return rotated 2 here. Nope. So we could, I don't think it's the pin, honestly. I wonder if it's a coincidence that the way that we did this ended up with no equal signs in here. I wonder if that means that we were getting closer, or if it was just a coincidence. Also, it would be nice to know if the modified Vignere decryption that we're doing is even on the right track. Because I could just be... I've kind of convinced myself that it is, and so I don't know if maybe that's blinding me to other possibilities here, that it's not Vignere at all. It just feels like it is. I don't know why. I think it's because after we did the Vignere shifting, you had a brief look at the thing you found on GitHub that you mentioned in the DM. Yeah, I think Smork went and read through the whole thing. I didn't look at it at all, but Smork went and did a little bit of reading, I think. And I know that Jorstar's busy today, so he didn't join us, but I know that Jorstar was actually going to go and try running the thing. Tryler, did you see anything that suggests that we're on the right track? I don't mind being given, like, warmer or colder hints. So, let's try... See, the interesting thing to me is with the Vignere decryption, if you have two keys, the multi-part key thing is freezer minus territory. I have no idea what either of those terms could mean. Oh, freezer territory. Multi-part key thing is very, very cold. Okay. Alright, let me just erase that whole line of thinking out of my head. Gone. So... Nope. No multi-part key thing. Get rid of this key too. Forget it. You're decrypting with wrong algorithm? Not necessarily. The Vignere thing might still be true with a single key, but it's just there's more than one step. But the Vignere thing could be wrong also. I just don't know any other key-based decryption methods, so maybe I have to go and look those up. So there's just a single key. That's what we get using just a single key, Vignere. So perhaps we should go and look, like, key-based decryption methods. 5 common encryption algorithms. Decryption methods. Symmetric key algorithm. It's not necessarily symmetric though. RSA encryption and decryption, I think, uses So, another possibility is that this file is not meant to be decrypted with this key. That not all the files are decryptable with this key. And that I should be concentrating my efforts on the one that says my password, maybe. What am I doing here? So 8 and 9. There's my pass.data and my pass1. I don't think... I don't think that either of those nuked an upgrade. Maybe I should go check. Oh, I don't think I even hit either of them. So I don't know. So for safety's sake, I should probably again 0, 1, and 2 send those off and try I8 here. Yep, good thing I checked. And I9. Okay. So we could do flux capacitor on I9 here and try playing around with that one first. Oh, such a long string. Oh, browser's in the way? Sorry. I'm so bad with that browser. I have a big red bar that shows up on my monitor when I have the browser open, so I remember. Okay, so that's the contents of my pass 1 .database. I gotta go and get my upgrades back. .45, 46, and 47. Whoops. Zyger. And load 0, 1, and 2. Okay. We'll up Deshaun here. And we'll run it. That's... Oh, I didn't save it, that's why. I should also log the key, just so that I can have it right there. Because sometimes the key shows up itself. Do we see a repeating pattern anywhere in here like we were seeing with the other ones? What did it look like without being decrypted? Do we see that key showing up over and over again in here? 0YXH, YXH, 0YYXH. Yeah, so we do. So what is the significance of that? XYGH, YXHH. It's like it's shuffled up over and over again, like scrambled up. I wonder what happens, what it looks like if we just remove what if we just remove all instances? So the key is in the raw text. Maybe it has to be removed from the raw text before we decrypt it. But how? Because it's not... So if we just remove, if we do data.replace key with nothing, what happens? any shorter? No. No change. So the key itself in whole is never there. But we know that it's kind of in there. So how do we detect this where it like starts to kind of show up? 0 yx h h, but the h is doubled up. The lowercase h is doubled up here. Yx, the uppercase h is doubled up. h1u. The 0 is doubled up. They only ever seem to get doubled though. 0yxxh is x34u. Is that part of it, or is that something different? YYX HH11W. I want to try something. I wonder if there is a modified regex that we can use. So if I put the whole string in here, let's get rid of our new lines. There's too many. I already manually deleted them. So we'll just pull this from the file. Okay. Go grab our key. So it doesn't show up. Is there a way we can modify this so it does show up? If we want 0 to 2 of those, followed by 0 to 2 of each of these, we start to see stuff. But I want to make sure that the whole thing is not empty though, right? Because the problem right now is this matches the empty strings because it has 0 of all of them. So I want to make sure that there's at least one character. It's not even at least one character. Maybe this is not quite written correctly, but that's kind of the idea that I wanted to go for. I want to look for matches where one of these may be duplicated or missing, but not all of them. My regex is not strong enough to be able, I have a hard time taking that idea and putting it into regex. But that's kind of what I want to do. Have a regex that looks for kind of matches with possible duplicates. Like we see one here. Where was the one that we were looking at before? This view's a little more squished than the other one. Did I copy the wrong string? Ah, I copied the wrong fucking string. That counts. That counts as stupid. I copied the wrong test string. Okay. This is the one, right? YUTFY. YUTFY. Yeah. Because I actually see some other things showing up in here too. now that I'm looking at it in regex. FFZS, FFZSS, FFFZS. Why am I seeing this repeating pattern? And then I see the key repeating. So there's more than one thing that repeats in here. Okay, one step at a time. Let's see if we can get this to do what I wanted. See, just with those two, I get hits. I get one match. I want to do something where this is not empty though. I do get some full hits here, but the problem is the whole thing. If I just make the first one required, so if I make all of these 1 or 2, I won't get any matches where they're missing. So that's the first one. So this is one where any of them or all of them could be duplicated, and I do get some hits. But not all of them, because here's one, because the 0 YH X H1U. This one is actually, they're swapped. The X and the H is swapped. Do I remove all of these letters? Just remove them all? Don't worry about the pattern. Remove all of these letters. These 7 letters are not included. Guess I could try that, right? We're just going to do this so we can keep an eye on it. We're going to do for let C of key. We're going to do data dot replace C with nothing. There's probably a regex that does that, but and then we are going to return data. See what that looks like. Whoops. Doesn't look much different, right? It's a little bit shorter. It's probably short a few lines. That didn't work. There's a Y there. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? It worked only for the first Y. The second Y is still there. Oh, I have to replace all of them. All matches are replaced if the G flag is set. Oh, I think I do have to do this. So, we will make this new regex, and the string will be C, and the flags will be G and we'll replace all of the matches with empty string. That's better. Okay, so that's significantly shorter. Then what? There's still a bunch of embedded equals, so it's not a B64. Is it possible everything up till the equals is B64? Is it possible we have to do the Vignere shift on it now? Let's try that one. Let's rotate it now by its key after having removed all the key values from the string. The thing from GitHub, Trilater works. Okay, so it is a correct answer. Good to know there's a correct answer out there, but I've really convinced myself that this modified Vignere thing is part of the right answer. Trilater, can you tell me whether or not I'm wasting my time? Because I feel like I've really invested a lot of time in this Vignere thing. Otherwise, I might have to look at a different type. Feeding it things from the calendar gives readable text. Feeding it things from the backup server files just yields nonsense. Okay, so we shouldn't be testing with data from here. We should be testing with data from from this user's calendar entries. Okay. So let me go core.private username is Mark Garv. Pin is this. I don't remember what the other menu options were. Work is calendar. And we'll pick one of these eyes and we'll get a... Okay, there's one. It's very short. Come on, friggin' cursor. Okay, so we'll copy this and we will use that as our data. Nope, I replaced the wrong string. That doesn't matter because those all came from the private server, so they're all garbage anyway. Okay. So let's try with this user's private key. It just removed 4 characters. Then let's try rotating it. Why did I comment that out? That was a weird decision. Okay, now we'll try rotating it afterward. Still just nonsense. Maybe forget this altogether then, and we've just been testing with the wrong thing. There's no plus, so that could be B64. Nope. Still just nonsense. What about this one? That's very close, so it's probably still nonsense. Yep. So with the user's private key and a data entry from the user's calendar, that should be enough to get an answer. So now it's just how to use the key to do that. It's possible though that the files, the server files, provide hints somehow. Like, I kind of feel like this is a step backward for me, because now I don't really have anything to go off of on knowing whether or not I'm moving in the right direction. So the Vignere goes forward. Maybe this modified one's supposed to go backward. So we rotate backwards through the array instead of forwards. So we would do if new I is less than 0. Let's actually rotate forwards. Rotate backwards. So we will do if new I is less than 0, new I plus equals length minus 1. Oh. What happened there? Undefined, undefined, undefined. What did I do wrong? Chars at new I. Oh, new I should be new I should be equal to 0 plus chars.length. Oh, hold on a sec. If we go backward, no, hold on. So if we are at C and we rotate 5, we'll go 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. We want length minus 1 minus new I. Isn't that just minus equals? Isn't that what I had? No, it's not what I had. Okay. The fuck? $82.71. So if new I, if we do chars, oh, that's because we are not doing this correctly. I want it to be this. The index of that minus the index of this, I think. That's the issue. Nope. Some of it is correct. So log new I here. And log new I there. And log chars at new I here. Okay, so we get minus 22, which becomes 86. Chars at 86 is nothing, because it's not 86 long. Jesus. It's 65. So we get minus 22. So if new I is less than 0, which it is, then it becomes equal to 65 minus 1 minus 22? 65 minus 1 minus math.abs new I. That's better. Minus 22 becomes 42. So it goes down to 0 and rolls back to be 64 minus 22, which is 42. Which is Q. Okay. So that's rotating backward. Rotating backward gives us a string with no equal signs in it, so maybe that's B64. So we can go check that. Still nonsense. Suppose I go through the key backwards as well. I don't really know what I'm expecting to see here. I don't even know if that's going in the right direction either. So this is the problem. When there's multiple, if the decryption involves multiple steps, and I don't even know one of the steps, it just makes things way more difficult. Because I have no way of determining whether or not I'm making progress on either of the steps if neither of them are ever going to reveal any information. Yes, I am getting frustrated. I could do the key replace first, try putting that back in and doing rotating backwards. Reveals a string that is 4 characters shorter. I could go and try to do that. B64 still got garbage. I don't know if B64 is involved in anything aside from just it being in the it being the alphabet that's being used. What if I just rotate it again? Just keep rotating it. You looked at it a bit more, Trilater, and you know more about how it works, but you're not sure how to best give me hints. Do you know if the Vignere rotation is on the right track? Just is the Vignere thing right? Because I'm just like, every attempt that I make involves Vignere right now. That would tell me whether or not I'm totally wasting my time or if I should start over again. I figured out the secret script and like where a key is and everything. So that's okay. I just don't, I'm almost getting to the point where I'm stumped on what decryption algorithm I should be using anyway. So it's something key-based, clearly. So I could try just rotating it again. Like, what if I rotate it? Okay, so this is rotating backwards, so forget that. If I rotate forwards, what if I rotate forwards twice? Rotate through the array twice, or rotate twice? Do D of rotated. And then log, well, return rotated 2. I don't need the key right now. Damn it. Again, it's just kind of nonsense. I could just like keep repeating this. But like, how long do I repeat this for before I give up, right? Like, do I rotate 9 times? Do I rotate 99 times? I might never get an answer out of any of these rotations. Rotate 4 times because the pin is 4 characters long? I don't know. I'm just reaching right now. I'm reaching. It doesn't look like any more of an answer. A normal Vignere cipher is not involved. Yeah, so we knew that already because there is so normal Vignere doesn't handle numbers, slashes, pluses, or equal signs. So we already knew that it wasn't a straight Vignere. So we have like a modified one that uses the B64 alphabet. You don't know enough of whatever it is modified one. It doesn't look like it to you. So that's been like the foundation of most of our decryption attempts. Has been Vignere, or our modified version of it. So if it's not, then I don't know any other decryption algorithms. So we'll have to go and read up more on key-based decryption, I guess. So, man, I almost want it's not one even if you use the B64 alphabet. It's not a Vignere cipher even if I'm using the B64 alphabet. That's what you're saying? So the Vignere thing is just, forget it. Not Vignere. I mean, I was pretty close to reaching that conclusion on my own anyway, because I'm getting to the point where this is stumping me. No repeating a shift operation for every input character and repeating the key to fill the gaps. I don't think there's any gap filling necessarily. So the Vignere is, yeah, you basically shift each letter by the key, by the position of the letter in the key. So for like the first letter is E, which is here in the array, and then the first position of the key is here. This is like position 58 or whatever in the array. So you would take E and you would add 58 to it along this and end up like here with like uppercase D. That's all you do. Then you move to the next key, and then when you hit the end of the key, you just move back to the beginning of the key. The message length isn't the key, you start repeating the key. Yeah, we rotate through the key as we rotate through this. So you could also do it by just copying out the key across. I guess that's the same thing logically. That's just how you would do it on paper, I guess. Okay, so it's not doing that. So okay, so I just should get rid of this code. Not Vignere. Not happy face, sad face, very sad face, crying sad face. Oh, I lost hours to that. Okay. So key-based decryption algorithms. WSS AES RSA triple DES. It's not just going to be one of these though, right? Because it's Sean's own take on an encryption algorithm. So it's not just going to be DES but then use this as the key. It's going to be something similar. So what I want is to understand how key-based encryption works as a concept. We kind of know that by looking at Vignere, right? Because the algorithm is shifting letters on a variable length pattern, and that variable length pattern is determined by a key. So what else could you do to a string to encrypt it? You could take each letter. So perhaps the key. So the key here is 7 characters long. What's something else we know about the strings? The strings are all multiples of 4. Their lengths are all multiples of 4. That's not a coincidence. That is not a coincidence, right? Right? Let's go back to our scraper and just make sure that all of these lengths are still multiples of 4. That's not enough entries. Why is that not enough entries? Cal entries should have been over many pages. There were supposed to be more entries than this. What happened here? I think something got blown away by our efforts, perhaps. So I am going to take this and we're going to clear the token and seed in the username and PIN. So this should just scrape the calendar entries again. Okay, that's better. I don't know why it didn't do that off the bat. It's probably because every time I run it, it saves the page. So one thing I should do is once the page gets to the end, I should do I should reset cal page. So that every time I run this, if I run this again, the page will start off at the beginning again for now. Maybe I should use like to do consider removing this later. So, TriLeader, do I want a hint regarding the message size that's not related to the encryption scheme itself directly? Do I want a hint about the size? I mean, they do all still appear to be multiples of 4. They are all multiples of 4 still. That's 17. I mentioned the messages being divisible by 4. Do I start by taking every 4th character? Take every 4th character and do something with it? The encryption doesn't care about the message length. It doesn't do padding. Okay. What happens if I start by taking every 4th letter? After you decrypt it, you do need to B64 decode it. Okay, so B64 is involved. Okay. So something to do with the number 4. The number 4 is involved somehow in here. Let's try by taking every 4th. I take every 4th one. So we will do results equal empty. We will do if I mod 4 equals 0. We will take we will do result plus equals data at I minus 1. This will take every 4th one. Then we will return the result. We'll log the result and then return logs. Let's try that. Gives us something much shorter. Still not decryptable. So if B64 decoding is involved, no matter what, we should probably implement that. So I actually don't know how to do B64 encoding or decoding manually either, because I've always just done in C#. There's just like 2 base 64 on every string. Does JavaScript from base 64? Is it built in? Window.a to b, ASCII to binary. That's a browser function though. Base 64 to bytes, bytes to base 64. Is there window dot, what was it? Window? That's probably not available in HackMud, right? That'd be crazy. Like window.a to b. That's probably not supported. Yeah. So I have to implement it myself. So it's binary data. Why are you flickering, light bulb? I hate LED light bulbs. It feels to me like every time I buy an LED light bulb, they either last for 1,000 years, or within like the first 10 hours of using it, it starts flickering and dying. I could import something from npm. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Stop that. Flickering light bulb. Ugh. Is it the light bulb that is garbage, or is it this lamp that's garbage? It's gonna give me friggin' epilepsy. Yeah, I'm not going to import any npm stuff. I don't want to do anything like that. I don't have a problem with importing packages in general, but I don't want to start having my HackMud stuff just be like pulling in other people's work just like verbatim. Is kind of like, it's not really, it kind of bypasses the point of learning how to do stuff in JavaScript. But also how to manually do base 64 decoding. So base 64 decoding, yeah, so do I have to do this myself? Each base 64 digit represents 6 bits of data. So 3 8-bit bytes can be represented by 4 6-bit digits. Base 64 version of a string is typically roughly a third larger than its source. So you have to turn the whole you have to turn the B64 string into binary, and then take every 6 bits What? Smark, from what you see, the code, the vignere is correct. It's the key that gets mangled. So you do something to the key first, and then you use vignere? Smark, are you seeing base 64 being used as well? Then though still? Like, because I'll have to implement that. Do I have to implement this? before I start figuring this out. I think I do, right? So base 64, each digit represents 6 bits of data. It looks like base 64, okay? So I'll keep going this way for the base 64 thing anyway, because I need to do that. So three 8-bit bytes represents 4 6-bit digits. So to turn it the other way around, you take 6 characters from the base 64, convert them to binary, split them into 3, convert each one of those 3 from binary back into ASCII, and you'll have 3 characters. And you do that in chunks of 4. So you chunk the try letter editing that script to just return decrypt 64 gives high. So it's a base 64 decoder. Okay. So I do need to do base 64. That's fine. So we can write a base 64 from B64, and we'll have a string M here. There's S64, I guess we can call it. So we will take 4 characters, S64.shift removes the first element. Okay, well, I don't want that. I want to splice the first 4 off of here. So while S64.length is greater than 0, I'm going to let chunk equal this. So I'm going to splice the first 4 off. Oh, we've got an ad coming in. I should probably take that opportunity to stretch my legs. So, okay. Yeah, so I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back in a few minutes. All right? All right, we are back. Thank you for waiting. Qubit 33 repo has tons of spoilers. Yeah, I don't want tons of spoilers. So let's we'll just continue working with this manual from B64 decoding, because that doesn't actually seem too complicated. So we take a chunk, we convert the chunk into its binary representation. So is there a... I don't remember how to turn something into binary in JavaScript to binary. Convert an integer to binary. Oh, I think you just put a B after it, don't you? So the chunk will be 4 characters long. We'll do a 4 iteration loop. For each chunk at I, we will do chunk.I dot char. Oh, actually, we can do chunk.char code at I. This will be char code, and then we do if I did 1, 2, 3, 4 B. Is that not how you do to... I don't remember how to do binary. My QR... Maybe I should go look at my QR solver. How did I deal with binary stuff here? Because I was reading it in binary, right? So read S... gives me RD. I do parse int. So parse int takes base 2 and converts it into an integer. That's how I did it the other way around. So that's how I can do it going back from the binary, but I need to figure out how to turn this into binary from a char code. Yeah. A.toString2 examples don't seem to work for -1. Well, that's fine. I don't want to do -1. So what would they say here? ToString base 2. So cc.toString base 2. Is that supposed to work? Maybe I can just do that. And then I can do from B64 A. This should give me A in binary, ideally. Whoops. A.splice is not a function. BCD. Oh, it's because this is a string. I need to convert it into an array of characters. Like that. Shit. S64 equals S64 dot split. Start with doing that. char code at is not a function because chunk is now an array. Chunk at I to char code from 0. There we go. 1 1 0 0 0 0. Okay, so That's 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So that should be A in binary. Seems a little high. I need my old ASCII table. Good girl. Dot, 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 stir turns it into an array as well. Oh, so like if I did dot, 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 that. Is that what you're talking about, Smork? Yeah, oh, cool. Didn't know that, thanks. Okay, so, yeah, so ASCII table, lowercase a is 97. That does look like 97, doesn't it? Yep. Okay, so that part's working. So cc.toString2 is binary. So what I need to do is I need to take the 24 bits wait, what? I've kind of lost my track here. So take 4 6-bit digits. A is not a 6-bit digit though. It's 7 bits. You can't represent an A in ASCII with 6 bits. Only in ASCII, not in the B64 alphabet. So in the B64 alphabet, you take its index from here and convert that into binary. You only need 6 bits to cover all options because it only has 64 characters. Okay. Okay, so I do need this chars then. B64 chars. So we will put that up here near the top. B64 RFC alphabet. So we don't take the char code. We take the B64 chars index of that letter and then convert that to binary. We don't have the equals because that's padding, right? Uppercase A is 0 and slash is 63. Yeah. Okay. I think I just figured that out. Okay. That's good. You can skip the binary by just shifting the bits into an integer. Shifting the bits into an integer. Hold on. I don't want to skip the binary because I have to take the whole binary all mashed together, right? And then I have to break that into 8 bits. So I have 4 6-bit chunks. I have to turn it into 3 8-bit chunks. I can't skip the binary step. I need the binary step, unless I'm being stupid, which is always a possibility. Because I need to be let binary chunk, right? Chunk, B chunk. Why can't I spell chunk? So B chunk is going to equal nothing. And I'm going to go B chunk plus equals this binary string. So at the end of this loop, B chunk is going to contain the 4 times 6 bit from B64. Need to convert that to 3 times 8 bit to get non B64. Hi. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. So once I have all the B chunks, then I go through that in 8-bit chunks. So I do this while B chunk dot length is greater than 0. I will then do unchunk I'm done with the chunks. So in here I can just reuse chunk, and I can do bchunk dot splice 8. So this should slice 8 bits off the front. It should do this 3 times because there should only be 24 bits in here. Then I convert that into an integer. Let char code. So this is actually B64 code, right? This is ASCII code is going to equal parse int chunk base 2 string. That's going to be the ASCII code, and then I can do let ASCII equal this, and I can do ASCII plus equals string dot from char code at ASCII code. Hey Free Frag, how's it going? Good morning, or wherever you are. I know people are kind of scattered all over the planet this morning. For me, welcome in. Thanks for coming by. And then that should, at the end of this, I need a let result equal this. So once I have the ASCII, actually I guess instead of this, I could just do result plus equals this, and then at the bottom of this return result. So if I have, we can test this now. So if I do 2 base 64, and I want to do hello, should be this, right? What do we do with equal signs? I don't know what to do with an equal sign when we're doing this manually. I didn't account for padding. Equal signs are padding and not in strings divisible by 4. Right, so I don't need to account for them for SHA encryption. But then this isn't a base 64 decoding function that I've written. It's a perfect base 64, non-padded. I'm curious, just like for my own knowledge, what you would do with an equals when encountering an equal sign. If it's padding. Does that mean you ignore the last ASCII code? I mean, I guess we'll just see, because I'm using hello as my test string. So, I don't know. Let's it doesn't matter. So, I'm going to take this. This is just for testing. So, let test equal this. We're going to do return from B64 test. Whoops. Damn it. SID is not a function. Okay, so something in here didn't work. From what you've seen, it's only applied at the end, so you're done when you see it. Right, but if we're chunking through the base 64 string in 4s, we can't not take 4. So I'm imagining what's going to end up happening is that this will return -1. So what do I need to test this with a perfect hello hello exclamation mark? No, because there's, yeah, hello exclamation mark. How about that? Something didn't work anyway because I just wrote a bunch of code and it doesn't run. I should just put a try catch around this. So we could put a try catch around this, I guess. That should do it. That's not helpful. I guess I need to not no-minify this. bchunk.splice is not a function. Right, because I have to do the same thing here, right? Except with bchunk. Because it's not an array yet, I have to turn it into an array. Yeah, that didn't work at all. That did not at all work. So let's log chunk. I don't know how many times I've misspelled the word chunk, or like 5 different ways. So we'll log chunk here. Then we'll log bchunk.length because I want to see that length, because I want to see that being 24, because it should be 24 bits. And then this should be 8 bits at a time. Let's log the ASCII code, and then also log string.fromCharCode ASCII code, though I know that's already going to be nonsense. Oh. Log this result and then log return logs. That's why. SGV. Sorry, the chunk is S? I think I have to do that on my arrays. And then do B chunk here. SGVS, and then the length is 19. So something went wrong with the binary. I think it's because I have to pad each one, right? Not pad start to 6 length with zeros, because sometimes it will give me. That's better. Still gives me a bunch of corruption characters though. So the length is 24, which is good. It is chunking through them correctly because it gets SGVS, and then on the next run it gets BG8H. It produces 24 bits each time. The ASCII codes are coming out. Is this the ASCII code? Something's wrong here. So the ASCII code is being printed out as garbage. Is the ASCII code 0 for all of them? So parse int is supposed to parse this with base 2. So it's supposed to splice this out. So I suppose I should do stringify my chunk here as well. Oh, fuck, stupid. This is an array. This is an array. I want to join this. Do you just do join? Not quite, huh? I want to parse chunk.join with no separator. So there's chunk. I want to log chunk, Jesus, join. I want join with no separator. Do I have to specifically put no separator? Yes, because it defaults to comma. Chink, chunk, chunk. Kunk, chonk. Yeah. All right, that worked. We get hello exclamation mark. It came back out. So we can't handle so if the length is not divisible by 4, this will all blow up. Presumably, because we don't handle an equal sign. Like if we do an equal there instead, it'll probably explode. Actually, not entirely, right? It still worked. It didn't blow up. Okay, so we have a B64 decode now. So we have B64 decode. Isn't there a B64 decoder in vanilla JavaScript? I tried looking, Smork, and I could only find there's a static one, but it comes from the browser. It's not available in HackMud. The one that I found anyway was like window dot A to B or A from B, and that window static class is not, or whatever, is not available. But I mean, that wasn't too bad. And I actually didn't know how base 64, like I use base 64 all the time. If you're using any kind of web APIs, you'll be used to seeing base 64 stuff. And I actually never knew what it was before now, so we also learned something new. Base 64, that's how it works. You just slightly expand it, which is why base 64 is always longer than what the text is, because it's actually 30% longer on average, or something like that. Okay, so here we go. So, back to what the fuck are we doing? That was a nice little vacation from the actual decryption. So, the data is always a length that's divisible by 4. Now we kind of understand why, because base 64 is involved. And you downsize from 4 characters to 3 characters. We can't do that with the data because the raw data has an equals in the middle of it, and those are only used for padding. So that doesn't quite work. I kind of wish I'd left that Vignere shifting in here. I suppose I can copy this and just undo a ton of shit till the Vignere stuff comes back. So I should have kept that code instead of deleting it. Come on, buffer, don't fail me. There we go. Paste that also. Take this whole thing. Oh, never mind. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Okay. So maybe the Vignere stuff is still relevant. So let's look at what it looks like if it's rotated by the key. Let's look at what it looks like if it's rotated by the key. Chars is not defined, right, because we changed that to B64 chars. Chars, 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 B64 chars. Took a little second. Okay, we notice after rotating it, there are no equal signs, but we already know this is not B64. You know what? Hold on. What if we rotate the key itself? No, what if we turn the key? What happens? So we've got the key. What if we log from B64 the key? Why did it come out all... Why did it come all janky? What if we turn the... What if we turn the key into B64 string? I would have to do a 2B64 as well. I suppose I could do that manually here. So this is the B64 key. I suppose I could just do this. So try rotating by the B64 version of the key. Oh, not ket, key. Also has no equal sign. And what if I log from B64 of the rotated? Nope, still junk. So we know B64 is involved as the last step. So we've written a B64. A from B64. But from there I have no idea where to go. Smork, you said something has to be done to the key first. Like, I suppose it's possible that I put equals back on the end of this B64 chars, and I leave, whoops. Leave the B64 padding there? I don't fucking know. What is that gonna do? That's probably not. This is probably gonna do something really weird. Yeah, it still just spits out a bunch of garbage. Looks like there are several variations of mangling the key, like skipping a character, repeating one, things like that. So that was kind of what we were seeing in some of those secret script files, right? Is we saw different variations on it. So it's possible that we have to brute the key, use the key as the basis for a brute force decryption. So we can try going through the key and removing one letter, right? We did that before, a little bit of experimentation with that, just with the raw key. So we could do that. And then we could try doubling them up one at a time. And then maybe scrambling them. That would be Magnara, and this is essentially a Magnara 7, which is going to result in a couple thousand variations. But we can try. We can try. There's something I'm noticing is, like, as you progress in tiers through the game, you have to retain some of the knowledge of things you've seen the game do in previous tiers. So, like, you've seen things like with Magnara does this certain thing with scrambling. And it's like, okay, so maybe that scrambling thing has something to do with what you do here. Okay, so let's... Okay, so what are we going to do? We're just going to log. So if we just log the rotation, So we log the key and we log its rotation. I guess new line characters come out of that rotation somehow. That's interesting. Okay, so we have to loop through the key first. So let, let I equals 0, I is less than key dot length, I plus plus. We are going to do let key mod equal key dot splice, and we splice I, and we splice 1 out of I. Sorry, we make key mod equal to key, and then we do key mod dot splice. I don't think strings do a reference copy, right? I think that's just an actual true copy. So this shouldn't alter the base key. And then we replace key and key with key mod. And then we'll log that. So we'll log the key, we'll log key mod, and then we'll log the rotated version of that key mod. So we should get like 7 variations here. Keymod.splice is not a function. Right, because it has to be an array first. So we do keymod equals, take keymod as an array, splice it, and then join that with nothings. It's so funny how many steps you have to do. So that's not right, because we don't want to take the remaining values of splice. We want to take the, because splice returns keymod equals keymod of an array. Okay, then we do keymod dot splice to splice out that character, and then you do keymod equals keymod dot join with nothing in it. Okay, so we turn it into an array, we splice the value out of the array we don't want, we turn it back into a string. Okay, there we go. So all of these are junk. All of these are junk. We do see dots coming out in some of them though, which is interesting. I don't think we've ever seen a dot. Ever. Okay, so that's the rotation with removing the keys. Removing a character from the key. We can try rotating through, doubling up on them. Should we double up on each one as we remove them? If the output is not only B64 chars, we can skip it. That's true, I suppose, right? So if A to Z, 0 to 9 slash plus and equals, right? If it's not any of those, that didn't quite work. base64 decoder without the toString 2 stuff. Do I want you to post the version you wrote while I did mine? I mean, you could just do pastebin and just drop it in chat if you want, Trilater. I think I did this not necessarily because it was required, but because that's how I was thinking about it in step by step. I usually write my code very readable, human readable, and then make it more efficient afterwards if required. Sometimes I just leave it as very readable. That's just kind of the style that I do. I dislike extremely compact code, just personally. I don't like it. That's like my own personal values. So if we find a character that is not one of these things, we are supposed to continue. So how come this didn't work? This isn't testing the way that I wanted it to. An unescaped delimiter. Oh, is that why? I have to escape it? I don't know why that wouldn't cause an error, though. Why would that just keep going? Yeah, it's still not working the way that I want it to. If this test succeeds on rotated. Oh, if this test succeeds on from B64 rotated, that's why. Yeah, okay. So if it's this, we can log which is error? I think it's D, right? Not B64. Oh, and I forgot my escape. Okay. That's a bit better. Okay, so Trilater, this is yours. Let's go see. What did you do? So you have your B64 chars. You have an input here. Let ACC equals this. So you shift 6. You just shift 6. I don't even know. Yeah, that line right there is, I don't even know how that works. Shift 6. What? How does that work? How does that work? Just shifting 6 what's? I would expect a shift operator. You shift it 6 bits? What is each character contains 6 bits of information. This is a combined shift assign. So it's like shift equals. ACC is the accumulator. But isn't the first time through this loop it shifting, accumulating itself at 0? Like, I don't understand. Where is the other variable? Zero shifted 0 is 0. Okay, so the first time through this loop, this intentionally, by design, does nothing. The first time through this loop, that's what you're saying? So it comes in through here. This doesn't do anything the first time through. You have an index, which is your index of your character. You add the index to it. You add your bits plus 6. If your bits is greater than or equal to 8, then your output is from char code shifted okay. I mean, like, yeah, it works, but it's not as human readable, right? So like, I personally don't like this style, but that's just for me, because like it's a lot of like shifting and stuff. So I don't do a lot of bit shifting stuff just in my own code. So I'm not as fluent in reading bit shifting operators. So why are you anding this with hex FF? Is that what character code is that? And then you're doing an and equal. All 8 bits set to 1. Okay. I can't read that. I can't read that. The bit I have, it's yeah, I can't read it. It's giving me a headache looking at it. It doesn't mean that it's bad. I'm not judging your code in any way, Trilater. It looks smarter than my code, but I can't read it because I'm not familiar with like bit shifting stuff. My brain doesn't think in shifting bits. I took assembler in college like 20 years ago, and it was the only course in college I nearly failed because my head is not binary. I don't think binary. I'm not that kind of developer, unfortunately. It's probably a detriment, honestly. Like, I admit it as a weakness. Okay. So now we need to do doubling up on every other character. So we'll take the key and we'll double up every other character. In your day job, you work with file formats and process automation hardware control, so you're more used to it. Yeah, like I have a friend of mine who's he's an electrical engineer. Actually, he's a computer engineer. Like he deals with a lot of hardware and microcontrollers and stuff. So he's the same way. He thinks a lot in binary operations to do things with microcontrollers. But I am just like software. I'm pure software. I'm not a deep level programmer, and I personally say I don't like that stuff. Like, I don't find the binary stuff interesting, which unfortunately for my ADHD makes it more difficult for me to learn it, because I'd have to really like find a way to make binary fun and interesting to me in order for it to stick. It just like it's one of the things with ADHD. There's some things I like that I find are like advantages, or things that I think are like make me quirky that I don't mind. But one of the things that I actually hate about ADHD is if I don't find something like interesting or intriguing, it just like bounces right off. It's really frustrating sometimes, because it's like, why can't I get this? I had that problem when I was taking assembler in college. Is like, it was in the last semester. Our program had been like trimmed down, like so many people had failed or dropped out by then, and it was like concentrating into all the successful people in our program. Not to toot my own horn, But it was just like people were getting like, yeah, okay, these are the people that actually are gonna do well at this. But I was the only person that I was just like, I was like losing sleep over it. I was like begging my classmates, like, please, I can't fail this class. I don't understand why I'm having so much trouble with this. I just couldn't get myself to think in binary. It was so disappointing. But anyway, all right, let's get back on track here. That explains though why you're able, TriLeader, to write that so easily, because you're thinking in that style all the time. I like never think about binary ever. I never think about binary. All right, so we want to, what do we want to do here? Do we want to go through and try doubling up each letter? So for each letter, we'll double it up, and we'll insert it. So it'll be similar to this loop. We'll just copy it for now. We're not worried about efficiency. We will actually, we can just comment this one out for now because we know that one doesn't work. So we can try, there's a way that we can splice a duplicate in here, right? Because splice is supposed to you remove elements and insert new elements in their place. So we can splice one out, and then what we can insert is I think we have to do let char equal keymod char at. Oh, we don't have to do that. We can just do at I. And then we can do we want to insert char plus char. How do we do this? Char plus char. I don't know if that's going to work. Is that going to double this up? This is a JavaScript thing. Yeah, that worked. It doubled up every time it went through, it doubled up that character. But that didn't work either. So do we have to combine these? So for each pass through the array, we remove one. Then we attempt that. Jesus. This is for sure going to need to be made more efficient with like having some potentially recursive calls in here. So the Vignere rotation could absolutely, the Vignere rotation and turning it into B64 could definitely come out and do a function. We can call it vig64, I guess. String s. And we'll have let d of s here. Actually, I guess we could just leave that as data and just call this data. We got another ad coming up in a couple minutes here. So this, I can just do return from B64 rotated. I suppose what I should do is I should have key come in through here. And we can do let rotated equal vig64 of data and key mod. So that makes that a bit better. Let's just make sure that that functions normally still. Nothing blows up anyway. Okay. So as we rotate through, as we rotate through, we want to also take this key mod, and then we want to double up the letters as well. So we want to try it as itself there. So what we should do actually is, if it's not, we should swap these conditions. Because I think what we want to do is then do this additional looping for all the combinations of that. So we're going to do the same thing here. Let rotated equal this. Except we can just say rotated equals this. Alright, we'll take a quick break for an ad here. I will be right back. Alright, I think we're back. Thanks for waiting again. Try later, I could also consider figuring out the key scrambling thing outside of HackMud and iterate faster with more familiar tools, and then port it to JS. So the focus is on learning JavaScript. It's not really the focus. The focus is just playing HackMud. But I think the problem is there's too many things that I will use. There's too many tools that I will use in modern C# that just don't port well to JavaScript. So I found this before when I tried to do something in C# first, that I will end up with spending too much of my time just rewriting my code from C# to JavaScript, which is not going to help me learn JavaScript. I have to just force this out. So I do apologize if you're JavaScript, if you are a JavaScript expert and I am causing you psychic damage over time by by fumbling in front of you through JavaScript. My JavaScript's gonna look terrible. But yeah, I just find like I am learning it more effectively this way. Like I couldn't have written a single function in JavaScript before I started HackMud. You're not. You try to do the least amount of JavaScript you can get away with. That's fair too. I know people have some strong opinions on JavaScript. Yeah. I'm just trying to like stay in HackMud mode. I've written all of my out-of-game automation in C#. Obviously, like, with interacting with Windows and stuff, that's just a lot easier for me. I don't want to figure out how to do that in TypeScript or Node.js or whatever. So, yeah, this is just... I know that I'm being slowed down by figuring out how to do this in JavaScript, and I'm not particularly bothered by that. I think that's just part of the experience for me. All right, so we want to put this in this else, I think, right? So if this is not B64, I don't think we necessarily need to log that. Oh, maybe we should. So not B64. Then we will make, I guess we're going to do keymod 2 here is going to equal keymod. And we'll do it like this, because we are going to sub that out. So we're going to start with removing a character and trying that. Does that work? No. Then we're going to double up all of those characters one at a time with the one that's been removed and see if any of those work. And then if none of those work, we'll have a big huge list of not B64. Else we will log the rotated string, and perhaps I should color code this so that it is more obvious that we have found a match. So I'll color that green if we find a match. So let's try this. We do have some not a numbers showing up here, so that might be causing us an issue. So y, alright, so what happened here? We got yxhh1u, yyxx hh11uu, and we did an extra loop at the end because this is key.length and not keymod.length. But none of these were true either. Oh, God. So I think what we're going to have to do is success equals true. Actually, we're going to do success equals empty. I don't know what happened there. God, jeez. Empty. We're going to do success equals rotated. Let's just do this. So if it doesn't have any of those in, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do success equals rotated. Otherwise, we're not going to do anything. I don't want to log failures anymore. I don't know if I even want to log the mods anymore. I think I'll log that one. Maybe? No. And then in here, if success is greater than 0, we're going to break from this loop. And we'll do the same thing here. From this loop. And then we will log, I don't know, if, again, we'll do if success is greater than 0, we'll log we'll log escaped backtick 1 success, escaped backtick. Otherwise, we will log D, no matches. So that should just give us one message at the end. No matches. Because now I feel like we have to do the Magnaras. The Magnara scrambles take so long on their own. There's no way that we have to do this. I guess we only have to do this until we find the key. And then once we have a match, we should be able to use whatever that scrambled up correct key is against every calendar entry without having to do that descrambling anymore. But we have to brute force the key to find which the key is, and that's more retries. How many attempts is this? This is... Oh god, is this the right order? Recursive function returns all possible permutations of an array. That's the function that I wrote. Just copy that comment too, I guess. And how did I use this? Mag. I used this by doing... Where's my s.w? Here. Let y ww remove first entry. I think that's all I do. So in here, I will do all permutations and then do this against every single permutation. Holy fuck. So I have to take every permutation. No. I take every permutation after removing one. There's no point removing one because that will end up in too many permutations. Which one results in less permutation calculations? Removing one and doing all the permutations of each of those? Or doing all the permutations and then removing one of all the permutations? The calculating permutations actually only takes like 15 milliseconds. I think we already did this. So it's probably better to do all the permutations first. No. What if you take out more than one at a time, though? What if you can be missing 2 characters? Shit. Smork, what did you say earlier? You either skip a character or repeat one, or different mangling variations. So if you skip more than one, I am fucked. If you don't skip any, there's like 8 different variations, like 8 different flavors of variations. So we have missing a random character, one random character. We have that covered. We should write these down. So we have missing any single character. Okay, we have doubling up on any single character, we were going to do Magnara permutation calculations. We were going to, right? That's 3. There were 5 more variation flavors, Smork, that you saw? Jesus. The fuck could they be? Magnara Scramble. What the fuck else could there be? Shifting one of the characters to an upper or lower case? So that's a question mark. Shifting any single character. Oh god, I can't type. To or from upper. Every 8th or repeats every 5th. I don't understand what that means, Smart. Every 8th character, but the key is only 7 characters long. / repeats every 5th character. Yeah, I don't really understand what that means. In the key or in the data? The / part is a verbatim copy from the code on the key. Repeats every 5th. The / part / repeats every 5th. I'm still not following. This is just flipping. This should be like flip the case on any single alpha character, I guess. Because you can't flip a numeric. Oh boy. So there's 4 more variations here that I'm not thinking of. There's this every 8th or / thing, which I'm not really understanding what that means. Repeat the key every 5th character? Is that what you're talking about? Like like the key stops at the 5th character and then begins repeating itself? / is a comment. So the code is every 8th or? The comment, I don't think I have enough context for that comment to understand what that means. Repeats every 5th. Something repeats every 5th in their solution. I'm not. That's so random. Like something repeats every 5th character or something like that. The comments are relating to key characters. 0 1 2 3 4 4 5 6 0 1 1 2 3 4 5 5. That's not every 5th. That's every 4th. So did someone typo their comment and mean repeat every 4th? 0 1 2 3 4 4 is the 5th repeating. it starts counting at 0. Yeah, but then like 4 repeats, but then 56011 is the 4th character that's repeating, not the 5th in that sequence. 23455, that's the 4th character. Unless they're talking like it's like 012344, and then you go 456011, and then you go back one. Like, that's fine. This what is that? I don't understand. What is this doing at all? It's only counting from 0 to 6. I have no idea what the fuck that means. I have no idea what that means. The numbers are an index in the key. Because there are 7 characters, so that's why it only goes up to 6. You gotta go try later. You'll see that this leads to later. Have fun, yeah. I'm having a lot of fun. Thanks for your help, though, try later. Some of it has stuck, and some of it just bounced off me, but that's not your fault. I appreciate the help and the hints anyway. Have a great day. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Yeah, Smork, that's just... I think maybe I'm just starting to get too hungry, because I'm starting to just like... I can feel like just... my brain just slowly sliding out of the side of my head. I don't know what repeats every... like, I understand, like, the index repeats every 5th. I have no idea. I think what bothers me the most is I have no idea where someone came up with that. They just decided they wanted to repeat every 5th character from the key. On what? Where did someone possibly get that from? They must have brooded it. Like... Bowkill. Hey, Bowkill. Known plaintext. Known from what? From the secret script somewhere? Is this still up? It's been a while. No. So we would have to do that again. Jesus. All right. All right. Let's go back. Oh, man. So, Bowkill, if what you said is true, it is known plaintext. The private servers contain byte64 encoded images. Between that and calendar entries, you have some known plaintext to work with. Byte64 encoded images. Yeah, base 64. I keep saying byte 64. Base 64. Base 64 encoded. I don't know why I keep saying byte. I'm just stupid. Okay. How do we know that they're images? Man, there's like so much stuff here. Oh my god, how did anyone figure this out on their own without spending 1,000 hours working on this? Like, I have no idea that they're images. Is it just because of their size? That someone's like, I bet this is an image. Fuck. I realize on my second run is not correctly clearing that thing or whatever, but this one doesn't have a fucking private secret script on it. Alright, so that means that I missed something. So maybe my paging is not long enough. So I should do minus 30 to plus 60 maybe? Oh, I've got to take minify off here, I think. Or I have to put minify on, I should say. What's going wrong here? Cal entries. Fucking Jesus. Let's try this again. Something's going wrong with this part, but no continuation token and C to G in here. Any secret script. There isn't a secret script for this user. That sucks. So that means none of these calendar entries are decryptable because you have no way of getting the key? Oh no, hold on. I think I know what happened here. I think I undid this and I'm now only dumping out the fucking keys. Damn it. That's my bad. I gotta up it. There it is. The file header's the same on images. If you see a B64 JPEG, for example, you see the same beginning text regardless of what the image was. Alright. Oh. That's a user. So there's the private storage. What was the pin? 2755. So I know nothing about image encoding at all. I don't work with images. So I never would have expected that because none of these have a file extension that implies that they are an image. .f does not imply that in any way that this is an image. That kind of sucks. I1, I'm assuming. No, 0. Are all of these images or are some of them images? I'm starting to get a little worn out. The large text blocks in the private server are generally images. So no, not always, right? They're most of the time they're images. How do you tell? I'm sure for like people who work with byte 60 base 64 images, they can just tell, they'll recognize one, but I don't. So they're totally it's just junk to me. It's just junk to my eyes. So I go back to my Deshaun here. Okay, let's pick a key and then let's gotta give these away for now while I poke around in these so I don't lose an upgrade. So let's look at 16. Like that's probably not an image, right? 13. I mean, there's usually ones in the numbers in between, right? Not always, I guess. Is that an image, or is that too small? That's definitely not an image, right? That's not, because that's a section of a book or whatever. This one's got a TXT extension. So is that a TXT, or is that an image and it's lying to me by saying it's TXT? There's too much misdirection here. It's kind of starting to fry my brain. Like there's like various sizes here. So which one of these is an image? Is it the one that is the one that ends in TXT is the image? This is frustrating. This is somewhere between this one and this one in size. If it's longer than 5 lines, it's generally an image. So they should start with the same thing, right? You're saying? So this one starts with DS1F. That doesn't, that doesn't, that doesn't. Are they supposed to stay with the same strings? Check out this link. Base64 Guru Converter. Make a simple test image in Paint, really small, and upload it here. I mean, I have like my icons and stuff from Twitch, my icon images, so I could use those, right? They're pretty small. My emotes. That's not that small. That's pretty friggin' big. So this one starts with IVBOR. So if I choose a different one, starts with IVBOR. They always start with IVBOR because these are PNGs, right? If I pick one of these other ones, like my coin image, IVBOR, so these are all PNGs, so it's a file type header. But this is base 64 without the key. So this could become IVBOR afterwards. So I need a JPEG. This is plain text. So this is not, this is, sorry, plain text, yes. You mean it is pre-key or post-key? This is plain, is it plain decrypted or plain encrypted? I don't understand. I know nothing about encryption. I am totally out of my element. I feel like I've thrown myself in the deep end here. This is what it would look like after decryption. Okay, so I would have to do some key magic to this. But I don't know what the key magic is, so that's still not really helping me. This every fifth key thing is, I should have called this stream Watch a Man Slowly Lose Hope. Watch the light leave my eyes on stream today. I have been humbled today, certainly, by this stuff. It's just characters everywhere. It's all I see is just characters just flooding my synapses. What was I doing before with this? I was putting this through flux capacitor. Oh god, what just happened there? Flux dot capacitor. Doing this. I do dir is this. That gives me the decorrupted version of this string. So let's take this and put it in here. Okay, so data is one big string. I don't want to do VIG64 anymore. I just want to do a VIG. I want to return data, VIG data key. Right, I gave all my upgrades away. I should probably script that some way of unloading, sending, and then retrieving them when I'm done. Bow kill, it's like that sometimes. It takes some days, maybe weeks, for this challenge if you're not already familiar. Have I considered what kind of ciphers I might be dealing with? So I think it's Vignere and base64, but something has to be done to the key first. Like the key is not the raw key. That there's also something going on with the key. Either the key is corrupted or it needs to be descrambled or something. I don't know if there's another specific cipher that's applied to the key before you use it to do the Vignere shifting on, I don't know. I don't really know anything about ciphers either, which is not helpful. I don't know anything about ciphers. I don't know anything about images. I don't know anything about base64. So I learned what base64 is today because I had to write my own base64 decoder, which was actually pretty straightforward. But the cipher stuff, like Vignere, is the only one that I've really been using because I was seeing patterns in this stuff, but now I'm not sure if that was like all a distraction and I was just seeing patterns where there weren't any, and now I'm just like feel like someone's taken an egg beater to the inside of my skull. Let's load the 012. Let's up Deshawn. Let's use Deshawn here for a second and see what this looks like when I just apply the key. I see nothing here. Vignier is right. Okay, that's the first time that someone has told me specifically that Vignier is correct, and now I feel 1% better. Thank you, Bokill. So, I know Smork was like, it looks like a Vignier, but Triliter didn't necessarily think it was Vignier, but it didn't look like a straight Vignier. I don't know. So, knowing that I'm at least on the right track is good. So, what does this thing look like without it? There was some, because we saw the key being repeated at some point during all of this. FDW1S4. FD, right? Like here. FDW1S4, H, FDWW, 5U4. Like, this is what we were seeing before, right? That it's like, it kind of shows up, but I didn't see any pattern here, and it doesn't look like every fifth. Like, why does it start with S4? Why does it start halfway through the key? I mean, it starts on the 5th, I guess? So it starts on the 5th? S4HFDDW1? So it starts on the 5th and repeats every 5th? One, two, three, four, five, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3. My browser is still this stupid browser. Alright, I'll upload a JPEG. Let me find a JPEG. I've got to have a JPEG around here somewhere, right? Are these JPEGs? What is this? That's a JPEG. And now the code is missing. I'm minimizing things and moving things around, and it's past my lunchtime. I don't eat breakfast. My breakfast is coffee, so I'm probably like super low on glucose right now. Okay, so if I encode this, this is a JPEG /9J/6. Pay attention to this. So I have a known plaintext. /9J/6. So do something to this over and over and over again until I get /9J/6 at the beginning, and then that means that I have the right key. /9J/6. That's only 5 though, but the key is 7 long. How would I use the private key to change my encrypted data to that? I have no fucking idea, man. How do I turn a D into a slash? Let's move this. A D into a slash. And then a Z to a 9. But Z and D are not 2 apart. They're 5 apart. Because D and F are 2 apart. And Z and D are 5 apart. I'm dealing with Vignier, yeah. So like I would apply this in a way to this until I get this. So let's take the first, oh god, I want to eat lunch so badly. Let's take the first 5 characters from data. How do I anti-Vignere this? I need to calculate the difference between D and slash. Char code at 0. Let's do jpg dot char code at 0 minus this one. Let diff equal that. So it gives me the difference between D and slash. Then give me B64 chars at diff. There's nothing. Log diff, log B64 chars at diff. Minus 53, obviously that's not going to work because I have to do a reverse Vignere, so wait, am I doing this in the right direction? Give me D, give me slash. The distance between D and slash why is that a negative number? I do the index of, oh, I'm doing char code. Fucking stupid. Index of B64 chars, index of data at 0. Not char codes. Ugh. I'm so tired. JPG at this. Right? That should be close to what I'm looking for here. No, because it's still minus 34. The index of D, index of JPG, and the index of data, maybe. I. Maybe it is the other way around and I have to do rollover. If diff is less than 0. Oh, what am I doing here? If diff is less than 0, diff equals B64 chars dot length minus 1 minus diff plus diff. Because you know what, just to keep it so it makes logical sense when you're reading it. E. That's close because I wanted F ideally. So if I do this for the first 5 characters, Oh, right. Log rotated. That's not quite the key. FDW1, not S4, but QT. Why do I get QT? Is that because that's the real key? So forget this. Is that the real key? Am I not short 2 characters though? Okay. So let's find another JPEG. What did I copy here? That's why. So how far in does this prefix go? Hi, sweetheart. I know it's lunchtime. Even my kitty knows that it's lunchtime. Make sure to test on multiple images. They play tricks on me. Use a small JPEG. I mean, like, I don't have... Like, I guess I could go make a super, super small JPEG. But, these are just the ones that I have on hand. So let me just copy this text here. Let me find another JPEG. That's a bitmap. That's too big. That's a PNG file. That's a JPEG. So I noticed that, yeah, as they get bigger, the prefix gets smaller. /9/J/ seems to be the only thing that's common between this one, which is probably a much larger file. Okay, MS Paint. We'll make a really small. We don't have an ad right now, though one is starting soon. What's going on? Hold on. What's going on with that? Something's going on with my... Why is my ad notification open in some screens but not others? Hi, yeah, you're a good girl. Okay, so we'll reduce my canvas size here to something really tiny. And we'll do that. We'll save this as a JPEG on my D drive, I guess. Test 1, and then we'll undo that and we'll do H, and we'll save that. Whoops, I saved it over top. Z, save as test 2. So we have a test 1 and a test 2, the same size, but they're slightly different pictures. Okay. So we'll do test 1 here. We'll encode this. The evil browser's blocking it. I'm using the browser. I'm actually currently using it, Smork. So I have 9. If I do that, test 1. Let's just make sure that I pick the right one. Test 1. 9J slash 9J slash, and then 4AAQ. If I pick another one, test 2, and encode that one, I get 9. I do get 4AAQ. How far down does this go? But how much of this is because the images are so similar, right? Because they have a lot of white space on them. Like how much of the beginning of these images is similar? Should I just do? I don't understand. B64 JPEG prefix. If the data in the field already has a prefix, useless. This answer is about PNG. This is the site we're already using. Thanks, Mark. Not only do I need to stretch it out, I need to, like, end my own suffering here. Oh, I'm getting very hungry. I have seen prefixes that this seems to be the only constant, just these 4. Slash 9J slash. And the other characters vary depending on the size of the image. Actually, they seem to vary just on the image itself. How could that be true? Because is this JPG? What happens if I do JPG? Data, like... Okay. I think I'm done. I don't think there's anything more I can do right now because I can't fucking think anymore. It's been like 3.5 hours of this. Oh my god. Vignere is correct. We know that. So that's good. We do have some way of finding known plain text. Maybe. Good to know when to tap out and come back later. Yeah. The worst thing is that I hate walking away from a problem when it's partially solved like this because I can't let go of it. I'm gonna be just mad. Okay, so I need to figure out what the fucking plain text is. Something to do with JPEG prefix in B64. Use reverse vig to figure out the actual key. What's the point of the plain text key in the secret script then? Problems like this definitely require downtime. Oh, for sure, for sure. I'm just mad because I've spent like several days on this and haven't really made any progress. I guess I've made like 2% progress. We did, okay. So we learned just a new thing. I'm going to focus on that for a second because it'll make me feel a bit better. I learned what base 64 is and how to decode it manually. Because before I just was like, yeah, base 64 makes something look like this. And what is that? So now we know it's because they shrink down the bits. They expand the bits, I guess. And they take 3 8-bit characters, which is 24 bits. 3 bits, 3 bytes, 3 ASCII bytes, and they take those 24 bits and they break them up into 6-bit chunks and turn those into one of the base 64 characters. I can't even word this thing properly. Okay. Anyway, we did figure something out-ish, maybe. And I think this is just something that I need to fuel up and get my blood sugar back up. And then come back and just have some quiet time on my own off stream to focus on. But everyone here has been very helpful. And I appreciate your patience with me not even understanding some of your hints. Trilater for sure. Trilater showed me some horrible, what I think as what looked like horrible JavaScript bit shifting stuff, which worked. So Trilater, to your credit, that was extremely clever. But yeah, I don't have bit shifting is like, I don't even want to learn bit shifting. Fuck bit shifting. So I'm just going to stick with my gross manual crap that I have in here. Doing 2-string with base 2. And yeah, Smork, thanks as well for going in there and kind of poking around in that script and dropping some hints as well, which has gotten us stuck. And of course, Bokill coming through with confirmation on Vignere, so I know that I'm not haven't totally wasted all my time. And putting me onto the hint that there is some known plain text because of the image stuff, so that there is some image prefix in here somewhere. I would have, without a hint. See, it's kind of frustrating, because without a hint that these were images, there's nothing in here. I don't see anything in the game that's telling me these are an image. Right? So it's like someone had to come in here and tell me that some of these were images, because I don't know what the hell an image looks like in base 64, and there's nothing in the game that seems to imply that these are images at all. I never would have come to that if I were working in a vacuum totally all by myself, I would never have come to that conclusion, ever. I would have probably just given up, being like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I would have assumed this was a big piece of text, because like, this is a piece of text. That's what I would have been looking for, I think. So that's a little frustrating. I found that too with some of the with most of the account NT answer, or not account NT, the G-lock hints. Like some of those were, I would never would have figured those out on my own. But I guess that's why it's okay to accept hints sometimes, right? Yeah, Bokill. You had to find hints yourself too. I'm not the only one that's felt like this. That's true. I don't feel alone. I don't feel alone in my frustration, but I do feel frustrated. Making very slow progress. Very slow progress. I just want to make sure that I exit this. It's important to me that I exit this experience with having figured something out for myself, because I don't want to have just been slowly deciphering other people's hints into a full solution, because I didn't arrive to anything on my own, right? So like doing the base 64 stuff, I did that on my own. Finding the B64 character alphabet ordering from the RFC, I did that on my own. And the figuring out that Vignere may be involved and doing the Vignere stuff, I did that on my own. There's still plenty of work to do for myself, yeah. I just want to make sure that I am actually capable of doing it, because I seem to keep getting stuck. Part of this might be that I have a learning disorder. Thor has talked about this before on his stream, and that is, he doesn't have ADHD, but in his experience with people with ADHD, that the trick to overcoming it is having some kind of reward that's triggered as you're learning something. And I found that, like, I think if that's true, and you know, I think through my personal experience some of that is true, I think the problem that I'm having is that there isn't enough immediate feedback that I'm actually heading in the right direction on any of the stuff that I've been doing on my own. So people in chat have been exceptionally helpful, because they have been telling me through hints that I'm on the right track. But if I had not been working on any of this on stream with any help from anybody else, I wouldn't have been getting any of that feedback. So for that, I'm very grateful that I've been doing this on stream, and I have had people helping me out, because it's been helping me to get that positive feedback from the stuff that I've been trying. But like just looking at the stuff on the screen, like in HackMud, I have yet to see direct evidence that anything I'm doing is correct. I think that right now is what's frustrating me the most. Is like, I know conceptually that I'm on the right track, but not because HackMud has been telling me I'm on the right track. So I think I'm just a little frustrated by that. Maybe I just need to get over it. Maybe I should just get over it. Maybe I should just get some lunch. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get some lunch. I'm very late for my lunch. Okay. These challenges were designed with the community in mind. Trying to solve it independently is really tough. Isn't that the real lesson, right? You can't do everything by yourself. I think that's a very important takeaway. I think I just have to internalize that a little bit, because this is a bit of a personal barrier for me, that I feel like I should be able to do everything myself. And I have to just like, I have to internalize that it's okay to work with other people and to not be able to do it all totally by myself. And that's okay. Your friend is the same way? Yeah. I just have to learn it's okay to get help from people. This is very like mental health. It has nothing to do with programming. Just in general, it's okay to ask for help. All right. Thank you, everyone, for all of your help. And hopefully, after eating and maybe thinking about this a little bit more on my own, cooling off, and coming back to this on my own a little bit and looking into the prefixing stuff for JPEGs and maybe doing a little bit of reading on base64 encoded images in general, I may get a little bit more unstuck and kind of be able to get my momentum back. So I expect to come back on Tuesday for the regular stream and continue working on this. And maybe I've made a little bit of progress on my own in between. Good stream. Thanks. Thank you. It doesn't feel good right now. It doesn't feel very good. But I think that's just part of the process. Anyway, thanks very much, everyone, for all your help. Thank you for your patience watching me absolutely struggle. And I apologize for the psychic damage that I have caused people who code natively in JavaScript and watching me just like mangle JavaScript to get it to do what I want it to do. All right. Everyone be very good to each other, please. And be good to yourselves as well, which is something that I've kind of learned a little bit today, as I got to be a little kinder to myself. And I hope to see you all again on Tuesday for more of this, whatever the fuck this is. Torture. Decryption torture. Okay, so have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. I hope to see you all soon. Thank you again, everybody, for all of your help. And be good to each other, okay? All right, take care, everyone. Bye.